Hi everyone, Jen from Culver's here, and this week's helpful hit is all about houseplants. So with the weather being so cold, a few things to keep in mind would be how close are your houseplants to the window. So if you can feel that there's air coming in through the window, or if your windows are just not very insulated, it is best to move your plants away. So a good distance would just be use your hand to feel for the temperature, and that can help from sending your plants into a little bit of a shock from the cold weather. And if you are noticing by now some dropping leaves, yellowing leaves, or really any signs of stress, for instance, this plant has a yellow leaf on it, so what I want to do is I want to make sure that the bottom of the plant does not have any sort of insect activity on the bottom of the leaf, and more than likely that is just from lack of sunlight from being inside a dense plant. But you always want to check, make sure that there's no webbing that might be a cause or might be a sign of spider mites. And if you see yellow leaves dropping off, that is usually a sign of too little of water. And if you have leaves that are starting to turn brown and staying on the plant, chances are that it's been overwatered. So what you want to do is you want to stick your finger in there. In the wintertime, you want to make sure that it's a little bit more dry than normal. So if you have a saucer like this one, just make sure that you are dumping out any excess water after about an hour of water after watering plants. And if you have a clear saucer, you just want to make sure that the water is not sitting in the flat part. If it's in the dimples, that's okay. A lot of times that can release some moisture into the air and raise humidity for the plant. So if you notice that you have some brown curling edges on your plants, that could be a sign of lack of humidity. And to raise humidity for houseplants, you can either group them together. So I've got a grouping of plants together that will help them as they're letting off some moisture into the air. They can kind of benefit from being close to each other. Another tip would be to place a humidifier close to the plant, or misting really isn't as effective as most people think because it's not a continual moisture source. And if you have a tray, you can put pebbles in the bottom or any kind of rock and then fill that tray with water. And what you want to do is make sure that there's no plant sitting in direct water, and that will, as that water evaporates, you will have a higher humidity around that plant. So that, along with don't fertilize your houseplants. Right now they are not growing actively and they really don't need to be fed. So the three things I'd say that are most important to keep in mind: keep them away from the windows during extreme cold like we're having this weekend, and make sure that you're scouting for any insect or disease issues, and make sure that you are watching the watering of the houseplant. Too little can be a problem in the winter, but usually too much water is the biggest issue in the winter. So that's your helpful hint. If you have any questions, please comment below, and we hope you have a great week.